What up, everybody, man? It's your boy JK, man. Today is Thursday, so you already know what it is. It's Tackle Thursday with JK, live on IG. And y'all already know how it is when I'm live solely on one platform on my IG. That means I got a special guest, and today is no different. Today, my guest, you might listen to this guest every day on the radio on 760 AM, the gospel, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4. He might be your favorite musician. He might be your favorite songwriter, but to me, he's my friend. He's my brother. He's none other than QJoseph Kent, a.k.a. Quoir Boy. Yo,
What's
what up,
good?
Q?
What's good, JK? What's good?
Man, what's up with you? Everything good with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can the people hear me okay?
Yeah, man, I can hear you loud and clear, bro. Loud and
Good,
clear, dog.
good.
Man, how your day going, bro?
Man, they going good, man. Just got off on the radio. You know how it is, man. Love the intro.
Hey,
Love
I
the
know. Hey,
intro, man.
I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to return the favor. You feel me? Trying to return the favor, man. How you be introducing me, bro, man? But man, I just want to say thank you, man, for joining me, and
Absolutely.
accepting the invite, man, to come on my show, man. And anytime I have a guest, I try to be intentional, and I believe that every guest or any guest that I come on, that those that listen, including myself, will be impacted. And that goes, what I'm saying, so true with you, man. I believe that myself and everybody that listen will be informed, will be
Yes, sir.
blessed, inspired, bro. And so, man, with that being said, man, go ahead and introduce, tell the people a little bit more about you, man, what you do, who you are, bro.
Man, I'm just a little poor boy from Kentucky, man. Son of a sharecropper. No, I'm playing. Shout out to my boy James D. Dr. James D. Clay. I see he just joined on here, man.
That's what's up.
Was good doctor. Of course, our frat brother. But no, man. I just a little boy from Louisville, man. Who came to Nashville with a dream, man, chasing the dream of music. I mean, born in Dallas, of course. Raised in Louisville, spent the first 3 years of my life there. I don't remember nothing about Dallas, but
Yeah.
raised in Louisville, and you know that's where I established roots. Of course, went to all my schooling there, and then after grad school, I was like, man, there's got to be something else for me. Definitely got to be something else, and so, man, we branched out. The funny thing is, originally I was supposed to go to Memphis.
Okay.
Originally, my plan was going to send me to Memphis, but God smacked that plan down. I mean, you know what they say, man. When you have plans, you tell God your plans, He just laugh at you.
Yeah, most
But
definitely.
but yeah, man, the trajectory led me here to Nashville, because most of the record labels have offices here. And at that time, I was a member of ASCAP, and ASCAP has an office here as well. And so it was just a no-brainer for me to go to Nashville instead of Memphis. Been here 10 years as of the beginning
Wow.
of this month. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Congrats on
yeah.
that, bro. That making that 10
Thank
year,
you, sir.
man. It's
Yeah,
crazy because I wouldn't have thought I would, especially being from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. There's no way I would have thought I would have been, married, having kids, raising my kids in Tennessee. That was like an
yeah,
ongoing joke when I was
yeah,
in college. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, well, you gonna grow up and be a Tennessean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro. Then when I lost my license and all, like, had to transfer everything, I was like, yes, I'm a
yeah,
Tennessean,
yeah.
man. But that's what's up, though, man. So like you said, you don't. I appreciate you not trying to claim Dallas. You feel me? Some people be like, yeah, I was born in Miami, but you was three, you was two, right?
Yeah,
But so just how was that
yeah.
experience, man? Growing up in Kentucky, like living in Kentucky.
Man, it was I mean, it was the only experience I know. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
hard to
got
compare it to anything else because I didn't grow up anywhere else. But man, it was of course, I was a PK.
you. Hmm.
For those who don't know what that is, preacher's kid,
Yeah.
preacher's grandkid, preacher's nephew, preacher's cousin. I listen.
Hey, it's in you through and
Listen,
through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so, just growing up in the church, when you don't know what it is when you're going through it, when you're growing up. I mean, as I'm an adult now, I know I grew up sheltered,
Mm.
which has its pluses and of
Yeah,
course its
most
minuses.
definitely.
But
Yeah,
yeah, grew up in the church. Man, that's where the choirs start coming in. Started
yeah.
singing when I was 4. Um, had been singing. This last 10 years is probably the only time that I haven't been singing in the choir.
Gotcha.
And I can't even say it's 10 years because when I first got here, I went to Mount Zion. Shout out to the good bishop,
Yeah, roots to
Bishop
the good
Walker,
bros. Yeah,
and joined the choir there.
hmm
And also went to Olive Branch, and
gotcha.
I
Pastor
was in
Benny.
the choir there. Pastor Vinny,
Yeah,
another one
roots
of
to
the
the good bros.
bros.
Yeah, you
So
stayed around the bros, ain't you? Hey,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then this is before I got to finish my journey. So
Yeah, I hear that. Hey, but you was moving. Hey, so you was moving in purpose. Hey, like
come
what we,
on
you know what
now,
I'm saying? Hey, you was moving in
come on
purpose,
now.
which
Yes,
that's
sir.
the topic of today.
Yes, sir.
We tackling moving in purpose, man, and we'll kind of, delve deeper as we continue to talk about, what I'm saying, your journey. But like you, it was strategic, not strategic, but you was in purpose following God, and
Right.
and like you said, God was ordering your footsteps, man. And so, man, you got into the choir
Absolutely.
singing at 4. I grew up in the church, so I'm not a PK kid, but you might as well say I was, right? My mama, my daddy, we going to church, we going to the morning service, we going to the evening service, we going to Bible study on
Yep.
Thursday, we in
Yep.
everything,
Yep.
right? So we having Bible
Yep.
study as a family. You know what I'm saying? I'm falling asleep as a kid. They telling me to stand up on the wall at home. To your point, being sheltered
Yeah.
is a good thing, but it also has its cons as well, man. And so I know like you got into writing, so not only do you sing, but you write music, and I did a little research on you, trying to do my little interviewing type
Yes, sir.
job. So it
Yes,
says
sir.
that you started writing music at the age of 11, man. How did you get inspired to write music?
Man, I want to say maybe it was destiny.
Mm,
Of course, divine intervention,
yeah,
absolutely. But man,
definitely.
just um, when you go around the house singing your own songs, making up your own hooks, things of that nature.
Mm,
Eventually, I just started writing it down, and eventually, me being a poet. So of course, it started
okay.
off with poetry, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Me being a poet, it moved towards, being a songwriter. And from 11 to 12, I remember writing out full songs, choir songs, gospel songs, of course.
Yeah.
And then eventually I moved into the secular realm. But even then, um, when I look back at it, man, I was doing gospel rap back then too, before it
But that's
became
what I'm about to say.
Lecrae,
That's
the
before it
truth.
was popular. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we talking, good 95, 96. You know what I'm saying? But before
Yeah,
gospel
yeah,
rap really
that was
became.
before it, because I remember, I think what by like I would say by like '07, but like in the like mid to like that once that 2010, 11, like Lecrae and them start
Yeah,
cranking through. Then my teammate put me on D1 when I was so like, but that's before your time doing, so you know what I'm saying, God was putting that in you, and allowing you to be inspired and be before your time, man. And so I know you talked
yeah,
about it a little bit as far as your writing process. So as a kid, you had a particular writing process, man. But what do you think is the same now as an adult? And if so, could you like kind of explain like your writing style or your writing process to those that may be aspiring, songwriters?
yeah. Of course. For me, man, it even when I was a kid, man, everything started with the chorus. Everything started with the hook.
Mm,
Um, Now as an adult, um, it just depends. It just depends on how it hits me. Sometimes, the melody of the verse will hit me, and then I have to figure out the hook later. Or
mhm.
sometimes, man, like 90% of my stuff, man, it just it you got to hit the hook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the most frequent thing in the song.
Yeah.
The whole reason it's called a hook, because that's what hooks the people.
Yeah. Lure you in, right? So okay, so you feel like,
Yeah,
you know, because I feel like that. I mean, I know that's an innate ability. That's a gift from God, right? So I feel like to have an ear for music, that talent, that's a gift. And like I have
right,
my
right.
LB Jonathan Neal on, right, which is a musician in the music as well. And
Yes,
so
sir.
it's crazy that you can listen to a song and I can listen to a song and you hear something so different. Like you looking for clarity, you looking for these
Yeah.
different things, right? So like what? So when you listen to music, are you listening to? Because when I listen to music, I'm listening to like a fan. I'm like, oh, okay, then this is nice. But are you listening to it with
Yeah.
a critiquing ear?
So it depends on who I'm listening to.
Okay,
And sometimes I have to give, an album or a song a few passes because,
okay,
like you said, as a radio personality, you do have a lot of people who throw music at you. Hey, man,
yeah,
listen to my song. See if you want to play it. You know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah,
um, initially, it is that scrutinizing ear, that
mm-hmm,
analytical ear. It's like,
yeah,
okay, they could have blended this more. Okay,
mm-hmm,
they need to pay for better mixing and mastering. You know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
type.
yeah,
Okay, the
yeah,
production week over here. You know,
yeah.
but in
Got
rare occasions, I do get to sit back and be like, I'm a fan of
yeah,
this person.
yeah,
Like I heard some new music today while I was at work.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and so working in radio, whether you're in gospel radio or secular radio, man, you do kind of get to be a fan, but you do also have that analytical ear, and what doesn't help me. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
Was at
yeah.
14, I was also an audio engineer. That's when I started
Gotcha.
being an audio engineer. Also
Yeah,
in the church.
yeah.
Most of my career started in the church.
So,
But
hey, but it's so crazy, man, because we know in the Bible say train up a child in the way they should
yep,
go, man.
yep,
And you don't realize that how many of your gifts start and begin and they get introduced, they get broken into. You get broken into what gifts
yep.
they could get polished. Like for me with speaking, I started speaking in the church. But as we get older, we realize, and God is
Yep.
like that the physical building is not the only place I can use these gifts. Right? This is where it was
Right.
started.
Right.
God is the one that gave it to me. This is this. I'm saying I
Yep.
began here, but I can go use these gifts in other places to glorify God, right? And to be able to exalt God, right? So you talked about audio engineering, man, and I know in high school you got into radio. So how did you in high school? How did I know you audio engineering at church, but how did you get into radio in high school?
So let me take you back to elementary school. Let,
Take
me-
me
let, me- let,
back.
me- let
Take
me
me
take you
back.
on the journey, if,
Yeah, take me on
if
the
you
journey now.
will. So it's so funny talking about divine intervention and talking about your journey and everything like that. When I think back to elementary school, somehow I had finagled my way. And I don't know if every high school or every school did this, but we had like the morning news, and
Yep.
it was kind of like student ran. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And
Yep.
so in elementary school, I remember finagling my way onto the news team there.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I was on the mixer, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
And then in middle school, I finagled my way onto the news team again.
Okay. Little
This time I
finesse
was the
out
weather
there.
guy. Um, and then in high school, like I said, audio engineer for the church,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the youth choir director for the young folk. One of the lead singers as well,
Yeah.
lead tenor for the youth group back in church. But come I think about sophomore year, right? I man, I just so I was at a new church, right? And
Yeah.
it actually happens to be the church that my granddad founded. Reverend Joseph
Got
Kent Jr.
mm,
He founded Golden Star. And so back at that time on the local radio station in Louisville, WLOU and WLLV, they had like a church program. It was about
got
30 minutes where um, you say a sermon or whatever you did in that 30 minutes. You pay for that
yeah,
30
yeah,
minutes, and
yeah. Got that 30 minutes.
yeah. And so after a while, man, the board engineer who was working the show, of course, he was the one who would filter calls through and everything like that. I think after a while, either before a show or after a show, I just asked him. I was like, "Hey, man, how you get in this?"
Yeah.
Um, next thing I know, I think about 2 weeks later, um, on a Saturday, I was spending, a good 4 or 5 hours unpaid,
Unpaid.
just learning that whole entire system at WLLV and WLOU. Eventually, it got to the point where when I look back at it, it was kind of cruel because I was working people's whole shifts while they were like in the
Wow.
kitchen watching TV. And
Yeah,
again, I
yeah,
wouldn't get paid. But,
yeah, yeah.
for
Nah, I
me,
hear
it
that.
was that learning experience. Looking back at it as an adult, I was like, yeah, I got played. But
Yeah,
but when I was a teenager, man, I wasn't thinking like that. I was just learning. And then eventually they hired me on, and I took the Sunday afternoon shift. So I had a show there every Sunday afternoon in between, the church shows.
yeah.
I got a few times in between that shift to play music.
Gotcha.
And it was only that one day. It was like 2 to midnight. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It was like
yeah,
2 to midnight on a Sunday. But man, I was the board op for several different of those live church shows that would come in. And then, like I said, I had that space to play music.
yeah.
And that's where I would open the mic. I was going by QJo at that point.
Q
Most people
Joe.
don't know my name is QJoseph. And so, I was just going by QJo at that point. Fast forward when I came here, and I know we'll get into this story, but
Yeah,
fast forward when I came here, and my boss was like, "What do you want your radio name to be?" I was like, I can't do QJo. Because people would call in and be like, "Hey, QJo."
yeah. They think, hey, Q Joe, the
That,
dog, huh?
that,
Hey,
that that's not my name, dog. That's not,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
Q Dober.
yeah, yeah,
So, so eventually I was like, yeah, we got to go with Quoir Boy. And like I said, we'll get to that question later
yeah.
because I know you're gonna ask where did Quoir Boy come from. So
Definitely. You
we'll get
already
to
know
that
that's
later.
coming. I'm gonna say that. I got that in the pocket. Hey, so now, man, you said some powerful things,
Yeah,
man, and what you just said, man. One, like I said, when I told you the title, as far as what we tackling, man, moving in purpose. Everything you just said, bro,
right.
you was literally moving in purpose, whether it
Yeah,
was you know what I'm saying, subconsciously or consciously, bro, every step. And that
yeah,
mentality you had to serve and to get paid by experience, pay with experience.
right,
Because
right,
like I had spoke somewhere. I talked about like I took this internship class in Baltimore, this high school class, and it was about I was telling them, hey, look, be willing to do things for free. Now I ain't gonna say do everything for free,
yeah,
but there are some things you got to be either willing to do for
right,
free or do it for a discounted price to get the experience. Experience
right,
right leads to connections. Connections lead to opportunities.
right,
Opportunities lead to a career. Right. So man, talk about that mentality, man. That humility that you had, humility with dignity to say, like, you know what, I got a passion for radio.
right.
I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know this aligns with something I really want to do, and therefore I'm going to take this experience, even though I'm not getting paid. Talk about that mentality, man, and how important that is to have.
I think the thing for me is, and we kind of talked about it yesterday, on your portion of my show,
Yeah,
man, it was knowing the destination for me. So music has always been the destination. It's always been the destination.
yeah,
When I was 14 and started being, the audio engineer for the church, my thought process was, okay, yeah, I can sing, yeah, I can be a songwriter. But when I started to look at the business side of things, I was like, oh, engineers one of the first people to get paid.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And you know, they get paid a lot. And so,
Mm.
you know, my thought process was always, okay, radio is cool, but I'm training myself to be an engineer. That's what it
Got
was for me.
Gotcha.
It was always being an audio engineer. So it was
Yeah.
radio. And of course, you know, me being an introvert, I don't always like talking to people. I don't always like opening up the microphone.
Yeah.
But as you know, as a speaker, man, you have to have a switch that you flip on and off.
Yes,
So
sir.
when you see me at home, or when you see me, you know what I'm saying, with my boys, you get a totally different QJoseph than you
Yeah.
would, you know, like on here, or
Yeah.
when the mic is open, when the cameras are, you know, you get a totally different one.
Definitely.
You know, it's still me. It's just, you know, that's the performance side of me, right?
Definitely. Most
Um,
definitely.
and so like the mindset for me, to go back to your question was, man, I want to be an engineer. That's still the mindset now.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, even if I do have a music career as a performer, my retirement plan is to be a mixing and mastering engineer. And so that's how you impact decades worth of music, without singing,
Yeah.
without writing, without
Yeah.
producing. Dude, my touch is still on this record somehow,
Yeah.
some way. My touch is
Yeah.
still on this album somehow, some way. So that's what the mindset was for me, in getting into radio. That, and even though being an introvert, growing up as an only child,
Yeah.
I knew the power of networking. So it wasn't just working radio for me. It wasn't just doing, you know, audio at the church for me. It was also sophomore year. Like I said, I don't know how every other city does it, but for me, the local cable company would film high school games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my sophomore year, it was our turn. I went to Wagner High School there in Louisville, right? It was our turn, and so, you know, I'm a lineman. You know, all y'all receivers and backs and all that, y'all
Hey,
going out.
skill position. Hey.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Y'all going out, you know, exercising. You know, me as a lineman, I'm just sitting there, you know, chilling, just sitting there
Yeah.
chilling. I was like, I see the camera crew. I was like, hey man, same with the radio station, man. I was like, hey man, how you get in this? And next thing I know, we didn't make playoffs that season,
Yeah.
and they brought me on, and so I was traveling with them to different high schools,
Yeah.
in the area, every single Friday, as a grip. I was brought on that as a production grip, um, but every once in a while, I would have a cameraman who would put the camera on my shoulder. So now, you know, I'm learning how to be a
Learn the
videographer,
camera.
right?
Yeah. Videography. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So I
And
mean,
so,
go ahead. My bad, bro.
no, I was about to say, man, and so, you know, just that networking, um, because I know, you know, later on in the career, if you research the bio, later on in the career, I became a videographer,
Yes,
and
sir.
that's the reason why that opportunity there is
Yeah.
the reason why. Shout out to Donald Lockhart and Fred Lee Reynolds. Fred Lee Reynolds, he was a cameraman that I was a grip for one day. And he was like, man, whenever you come to college, because I went to the University of Louisville, so I stayed home. He was like, man, whenever you come to college, holla at me.
Yeah.
You know, fast forward, you know, I was still working radio. But when I came to college, I had a job immediately. You know, some freshmen,
Yeah.
you know, they
Nah.
flounder trying
Yeah.
to find themselves.
Uh-huh.
Bro, I had a job immediately.
Nah.
Immediately.
Nah, definitely, man. And what I really take, and I just hope people that are watching this live and that's gonna see it, man, just the fact that you were never afraid to ask, right? And that's where even as
Yeah.
I mature, man, because I was, you know, so it was crazy, man. But I was like, I was born for a certain point in time. I had me and my sister who was living in the house. She moved out, and so like, so the first like all the way to sixth grade, I was living with my sister.
Yeah.
Then from sixth all the way to senior year, I was like only child, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm my mom's only child, so I can definitely get that. And some of the tendencies I feel like as an only child is you don't ask, you try to do it all by yourself, man. And
Right.
so what I take
Right.
from your story is never be afraid to ask. And that's what even like now, as I find myself getting into TV, I'm thinking about the people that I seen do TV for our football games. I'm reaching out to them,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Always, asking it. And then another thing I take from what you just said, bro, is knowing what you want to do, being intentional about it, and understanding that what you want to do could be multifaceted, and you could take this step, like how you saying, I'm gonna do radio, I'm gonna do
Yep.
video, I'm gonna sing, but ultimately I'm trying to be an audio engineer at the end, right? To sum it up. And so,
Right.
man, and to those that are listening, man, any career that you want, you might not start off exactly doing that final thing you want to do,
Yep.
but it's so many other things that will prepare you to be your best when you get there, man. So salute to you on that, man. And hey, you leading this interview for me, because you lead me right into the next transition. Was your experience at Louisville, and your major that you study in videography, man. So man, we played Louisville in football, but I never went there, right, as far as a student. So how was that experience, man?
Man, the experience was cool. I look back at it, and I say this because my first major was an electrical engineer, right? Um, Again, my mindset was still to be an audio engineer.
Yep.
But at that time, my mindset was, if the board break down, I can go in and fix it myself. Still make a whole lot. Dude, electrical engineers make buku.
Make bread.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my thought, still audio engineer, still music engineer. But I was like, if the board break down, dude, I got
Fix
this.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. It helped that my high school had an architectural / engineer program.
Yeah.
So I knew how to draw blueprints and diagrams, and got to play with resistors and things of that nature. It was very, very hands-on.
Yeah.
And so I say that to say, some parts of me wishes I went to an ITT Tech or some type of technical student, not ITT Tech because they're gone now. My degree wouldn't have meant nothing. But some type of technical school that was hands-on. But, going to the University of Louisville, being a 4-year school, the biggest thing that I took from that was, again, the networking. A lot of people would stand around campus to see me, be like, Q, why are you not in class? Bro, I'm networking. I'm networking. And even though I didn't have, like a real job or nothing like that, man, if you ask some of them people who went to school with me back then, I was still handing out business cards. Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Take the business card.
That's real, though. That's real. That's real.
But no, the experience, man, I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And if nothing else, if everyone, and granted, it ain't everybody's ministry to go to college. That ain't for everybody.
It's not.
But if somebody has the opportunity, I would say, man, definitely go experience campus life. Even if you don't live on campus and you have to commute, man, experience campus life and hanging around campus.
Yeah.
And there's more than just, of course, for us, there's Greek life, right? But what I'm saying, there's more than just Greek life. And then, going to a PWI, primarily white institution, man, that's when I really gelled with the black people. And I say this with no disrespect to anybody who went to a HBCU, but I feel like I had some of that experience with the black people on the University of Louisville's campus, because we took care of each other. And if your name was known in that community, you were black famous. You were absolutely black famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, the president of the university didn't have to know your name. But you were black famous then. So but no, that experience, me being a student videographer for the University of Louisville, the sports videographer for University of Louisville, led to me changing my major to communications, because again, like we're talking about all these steps. And when I look back, I was like, dude, I'm already in communications. I'm already getting the hands-on experience.
You already walking in purpose.
Why not get the degree?
For real. The more I hear your story, bro, it aligns right with, you know what I'm saying, moving in purpose, bro. Like,
yes, sir.
Your step to where you are, which we're about to transition into that, it was aligned, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not saying it was just a straight line, but that it connected, right? And so many times people would be like, "Oh, you can't do more than one thing. You only should do." Yes, you can if it's all aligned and in purpose. So all that
Right.
you are doing, video, radio, audio engineering, electrical engineering, you had an idea on how all these things tied, man. And it's so similar, man, to how I look at
Yeah.
my life now and things that I'm doing now. It's like, look, I could do that because that prepares me for this, and that's connected to that. And still I'm in purpose, man. Look at Corey, the bros, 21 bro, talking about what's Greek life. Hey, and hey, root to
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
brother Clay too, man. I see he was on here too, man. So
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
we done went through your childhood, through middle school, high school,
Yes, sir.
got through Louisville.
Yes, sir.
You got your masters, right? And now we gonna slide into where you are now. Like you said, you made your way to Nashville, man. You got your own show, 760 AM The Gospel, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4.
Yes, sir.
Y'all go check him out. Follow him at Quoir Boy, man. And your Quoir Boy.
Yeah.
So tell me so I know how you got here, but how we got into being called Quoir Boy and what you do now, man. Talk about that.
So, and let me go back. If we're gonna fill in the whole timeline,
Hey, go
let
ahead,
me
fill
go
it
back.
in.
So,
Don't let me miss no step.
graduated from U of L, University of Louisville, 2010, right, with a bachelor's of arts in communications, right.
Yeah.
Looked at again because the mindset is music, right. I said,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm going to go to another school, one is going to be music. If I'm going to go back to class after getting a 4-year degree,
Yeah.
it's going to be another degree. It's not going to be a certification.
Yeah.
It's not going to be. It's going to be another degree.
Gotcha.
And so on that, I had two schools on mine. I had Berkeley, up there on the East Coast,
Okay.
and then I had Full Sail,
Okay.
down by your way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Full Sail. They're outside of Orlando,
Gotcha.
and when I looked at both of them, I was like, well, Full Sail offering this master's degree for entertainment business.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let me holler at Full Sail. Let me see what they talking about.
Yeah.
And just having that conversation with them, financial aid sounded right.
Yeah.
Everything sounded good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a year program, which means it was an accelerated program.
Okay.
But at the end of it, I, got a chance to leave with a Master of Science in Entertainment Business.
That's good.
Um,
That's good.
from Full Sail. Now, of course, I did it online.
Yeah.
However, parts of me wishes I would have went to the campus. Again, talking about that networking.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody who doesn't know Full Sail's campus, what impressed me about Full Sail, what made me decide to go to Full Sail over Berkeley, is I looked at their role of graduates, right? And their role of graduates played a role in Marvel movies, in games like GTA,
Gotcha.
Halo, some of your big
Yeah.
games. They
Yeah.
were Grammy Award winners. So I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I have to be in that number.
Yeah. Got you.
I absolutely have to be in that number.
Yeah.
So that's where Full Sail came from. Then we moved to Nashville,
Got you.
August of 2011. And man, to fast forward, man, 2017. I'll say I completed a journey
Yeah.
of chasing a dream, in becoming a full-fledged member, a legit member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey. Yes,
Shout
sir.
out to Omega Lambda Chapter.
Most definitely.
But to Corey's point, that's what Greek like is. But big
Yeah.
rude to smoke in the city barbecue. But
Yeah. For real.
but no, my line name was Quoir Boy.
Okay.
I was the trade dog of Fall 17. Omega Lambda Lambda, and of course the line name that I was given was Quoir Boy,
Gotcha.
because of my singing.
Gotcha.
I,
So you
I, I
led all the songs. Hey,
yeah,
gotcha. And I
yeah,
see you in action though. I see you when we went and
yeah.
served at the I think the food bank. I want to say we went and served that, and you it was doing one achievement week, man. You took it home for us, man. So salute to you on that. Yeah, I seen you in action now.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it. But yeah, man, I just took that name and embraced it and ran with it.
yeah.
Also, Five Heartbeats being one of my favorite movies, and one of the characters on there is named Quoir Boy. So, and talking about taking it home,
Yeah,
he take it home in that movie.
yeah. So it all went. Hey, so it's just a line, man. One of your favorite movies. Hey, you sing,
Yeah,
been in the
yeah,
choir. Hey, why not go with Choir
yeah,
Boy, man? Yeah, definitely, man. So hey, so that's definitely so that's
absolutely
how you end up getting the Choir Boy. So was that
right.
so were you looking for a name once you became the radio personality, or you was like, okay, this is my name, and then when I move into that position, I'm already have a name.
When my boss first hired me, because when he first hired me, I thought I was just going to be a board engineer.
Okay.
And usually, for those who don't know, a board operator is the guy who works behind the scenes. He's the guy
Gotcha.
who takes the call when you call into a radio station and
Yeah.
forwards the calls to the host. Or he's the guy playing the music in the background. Like originally, when my boss, shout out to Orlando Boyd, when he hired me. Um, that was the thinking. But as we sat down and discussed it, he talked about me opening up the mic. He talked about me having my own show. Even though I just started on Saturdays,
Yeah.
he talked about that. And the branding was always Quoir Boy for me, because of my experience as QJo,
Yeah.
back in Louisville.
Yeah.
Which family, close family and friends still call me that.
Yeah.
That's my nickname, Cujo. But it ain't random people calling in. Hey, can I speak to Cujo?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, no, bro. No,
But hey, the Choir
no.
Boy go hard though, bro. Hey, but it go hard though. Like I mean, it's matched to what you do. It got a nice ring to it, man, and it
Yes,
tells
sir.
us about who you are. You know what I'm kind of saying? Like, so it encompasses a lot. And so, man,
Yeah.
so definitely, that's amazing, man. So what would you say is the most difficult part of being a radio personality, man?
Um. So in the midst of doing a show, an interactive show, I
Mm,
think the most difficult part is pleasing everybody. So if you ask any
mm,
of my coworkers, they'll tell you like I'm the time guy. I make
yeah,
sure that we stay on time. If we got
yeah,
commercials that hit the 15 of every hour, hey,
yeah. Let's hit it.
appreciate this interview, but
Yeah,
got these commercials to hit, bro.
yeah,
Right. And I'm like
yeah,
that with music too. I count my music down to the second, and so most of the time I have my show planned like 40 minutes ahead of time.
okay.
Um, and so I think the most frustrating thing for somebody like me, somebody who's analytical like me, is when people call in and request music. And I'm not saying this to deter anybody. Call in
Yeah,
request, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
But now I'm in analytical mode. It's like, okay, how do I fit this song in?
Gotcha.
How long is this song?
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
different. You know what I'm saying? If it's a more contemporary song, it's probably 3 or 4 minutes. If somebody wants some Lee Williams or something like that, it's a good 7 to 10 minutes.
Hey, so
Um,
hey, give me the Canton Spirituals Heavenly
right,
Choir extended version. Hey, hey,
right,
hey.
right. And so it's figuring out, okay, how do I please this person and let them
Okay.
hear their favorite song,
Yeah,
while keeping time.
yeah.
So I think that would be the most difficult thing.
Definitely, man. And like I say, man, that's why I love having guests, man, because and I love to like be like to see it. Like, man, I can see how people that listen, including myself, can learn. And so what you just dropped right there about radio, right? I'm just your average person. I'm calling in, bro. I want to hear my favorite song. But
Right.
hearing what you just said, it's like, man, you know, now it allows me to take ownership as a listener and say, man, okay, if he tight on time, if I know he about to go off at 4, asking for this song with only 10 minutes left might not be ideal. So now I don't have to
Right.
be offended if you can't get to my song because I just heard you explain what it
Yeah.
is to be a radio personality and how you have these time, right? Time restraints, man. So you talked about what you think is the most difficult is pleasing everybody. What would you say, man, you love the most about being a radio personality, man?
Let me get to that in a minute. To address
Okay.
what you just said,
Okay, go ahead.
um, man, like I said, I don't want to detour anybody from calling in. If you
Yeah,
call me at 3:55, I'm still gonna try to get your song in.
yeah.
However, you might not hear the whole song. I'll say it like that. You may not hear the whole song. So just be prepared to hear 1 or 2 minutes of your song.
Of your son,
Um,
yeah.
but no, I think my favorite thing when I talk about all the jobs that I've mentioned having here, whether it be radio back in Louisville, whether it be working for the local cable company,
Uh,
being a videographer, even this job as well. All some of my favorite jobs. I think my most favorite thing, again, being an introvert, I think the most favorite thing is the bosses there gave me autonomy. It wasn't anybody looking over my shoulder.
yeah,
It wasn't anybody micromanaging me.
yeah,
Especially Orlando, my boss now.
yeah,
Um, you know, you get the space to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes,
yeah.
correct
Of
your
course.
mistakes. And so,
Yeah,
the show I started off with a year ago is not the same show today.
gotcha.
So just like the Impact with JK segment on Wednesdays at 3:30. Shameless plug on
Hey, shameless
768
plug.
The
Hey, you
Gospel.
know, I'm just, hey, I'm like, yeah, keep it going. Hey, I'm over here like, yeah, keep that going, shameless plug. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for real.
But yeah, we started what a month or two
Yeah,
ago.
a month. I think this was I think yesterday made a month, bro.
So
Yeah,
what I'm saying, like what you started with 4 weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, it ain't the same segment.
gotcha.
So
Yeah,
it's
facts.
that space to evolve.
Yeah,
That's what I love about it. That it's not a traditional job.
yeah.
I'm also a notary as well. And
Mm.
so I own my own notary business. So I get to maneuver around that. Um, you know, if I do security, most of the time I'm doing it third shift. That doesn't interfere with that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Of
Yeah,
course, having time to work on my music.
yeah,
And I have a boss who is very supportive of my brand.
yeah,
Whatever my brand is, my music brand, the Quoir Boy brand. And that's the thing, man. I look at myself as kind of a conglomerate, if you will.
yeah.
So,
I got
Quoir Boy is a brand, right? That's just one branch of what I do.
you. Yeah,
Nero the Black Dog, that is my artist persona.
okay.
That's a totally other branch
Yeah,
of me being a graphic designer or me being a notary. Like
yeah,
these are different brands, all part of the Q Joseph Kent conglomerate.
yeah,
But you know what I'm saying? These are different departments, different branches.
yeah,
And you alluded to it earlier, man, when God gives you multiple talents, um, you do have to kind of split yourself off a little bit,
yeah,
and make sure you have different brands or different ways to um, shine your light on those brands. For my nerds out there, man, it's kind of like being Voldemort and having different Horcruxes.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You put a little piece of yourself a little bit everywhere. So yeah, definitely.
Nah, I mean, as I listened to you, bro, I didn't realize, you know what I'm saying, just like how much, different things like we have in common, man. I remember when we was talking, and when we was just, at the blood drive, and I was like, man, what you do? Hey, man, radio personality. And I joke with you, like I used to be a DJ in high school, bro. DJ Boogie on the ones and twos. I'm
DJ
telling you, bro.
Boogie. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
DJ Boogie, I had him rocking,
Yes, sir.
bro. But man, I know I tell you thank you, man, but I want to do it on my show as well, man. Thank you, bro, for opening your platform, you know what I'm saying, up for me.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, having the autonomy from your boss to be able to make your show what you want it, and then to use your
Yeah.
platform and to bring other people on and give them a platform, man. When I say I can't thank you enough for that opportunity, bro, I really, 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 really appreciate that, man. I thank you for that, man, for real, man. And I pray and I know and I trust and I already know you believe, man, God's gonna continue to bless you, man, because you are being a blessing to others, bro. And so
Yes,
you're
sir.
helping someone like me, a dream come true. You know what I'm saying? Something that I, aspire to be on the radio, get, larger platforms. So you're doing that for me. So I already know what God, you know what I'm saying, gonna do for you. You know what I'm saying? Blowing your mind and what you want, man. So definitely
Yes,
believing
sir.
that for you, bro. And so with all your information, man, with all your experience, say someone's like, hey, man, hey, Quoir Boy, I'm trying to get into radio, man. What's some advice? Like, what would be your advice to them, man? Somebody trying to get into radio.
Man, it's like you tell your kids, man. You're it's like you tell your people you speak to, man. You have to be willing to do a little bit of anything. Now, I'm not saying lower your morals or anything
Yeah,
like that. Absolutely,
yeah,
but
definitely got you.
You have to be willing to intern. You have to be willing to put in the work, basically, and that's almost any industry. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be willing to pay your dues and put in the work.
Yeah.
And when people see you working, man, that's when the opportunities open up. I think the biggest thing is putting yourself in position. When you put yourself in the proper position, man, things open up. Do everything you can do,
Mm-hmm.
and then leave the rest to God, man. It's just like planting the garden, man. You can't just sit there and pray for a garden, man. I want a good harvest. I want a good harvest. Man,
Yeah.
you got to plant some seeds.
Yeah,
You
you
got to
do.
make sure, what I'm saying, the soil is good. You got to water them. Like, do everything you can do,
Yeah.
and then leave the rest to God. And so anybody who wants to get into radio, I would say, of course, be willing to, take some of the jobs that lead to radio. Like you said, man, you got to take some of the dirty jobs. If you want to be a manager, you got to be willing to mop the floor sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You
Facts.
know, being a videographer was cool, but remember, I started as a grip. For people who don't know what a grip is, those are the guys who, pull the cables and make sure, the
Mm-hmm.
cameraman ain't knocking into somebody. Make sure
Yeah.
he has enough cable to, be
Okay.
on live TV or whatever. Make sure ain't nobody tripping over the cables.
I just learned
We used
something
to have a
today.
lot of football players trip over the cables, but but no, man, knowing where your ground floor is, and knowing that my end goal is to be an engineer, right? Man, you have to know the branches of that tree. So you can't just jump in and be an engineer, right? Okay, so what other paths do you need to go to get to being an engineer? So that would be my advice for anybody. Research the industry you're trying to get into. Research the
Mm-hmm.
paths to that industry,
Mm-hmm.
and man, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the
Yeah.
journey because, man, if you do everything right, if it's ordained by God, man, it's gonna happen. Period. It's
Amen.
gonna happen.
Amen to that, bro. Amen. And like you said, bro, we talked about Pastor Benny, man, root to the good bros, man. After my pro day, man,
Yes, sir.
um, I was disappointed. I didn't do horrible looking back at it, but I was disappointed. And my wife worked for Pastor Benny at the time. And so she was like, man, go talk to Pastor Benny. I wasn't a bros or nothing like that, man. Just a, regular old person, right? And
Right,
so I went in, he
right,
was
right.
like, look, man, he said, you want to get to the NFL, right? So no, I didn't. So obviously, look, fast forward, I didn't make it to the NFL. But his point was this. He said, man, you have to be willing to get on the ladder at any point to have an opportunity to climb to the top. And I never
Right.
forget him telling me that. And so to your point, like you said, learn the branches of the industry that you want to get in because you might can't start and at the top of the tree. But to your point, if I'm the grip guy could end up into the videographer, could end up into the audio
Right.
engineer, could end up so. Man, salute to you. Great advice, bro. Great advice, you know what I'm saying, for myself as well, man. Just
Dude,
overall, man. And so,
sometimes just being there sometimes just
Yeah,
being there is all the opportunity you need, man. Because when people see you there and you're consistent,
yeah,
they like, hey man, let me put this camera on your shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You
yeah,
using the grip
yeah,
situation, man. You know, hey man, you want to learn this thing? Come here, let me show you something. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And so, dude, the more you do that, the more you're just there.
yeah,
Like I said, man, you can't always start at the top. You won't
mm,
always start at the middle.
yeah.
Sometimes you got to start at the very bottom.
At the
But
bottom,
man,
look
be there.
drizzy. Yeah,
Just be there. Just show up.
definitely, man. Most definitely, man. So I know that you interview guests. You know, y'all do things with Stellar Awards. You run into these different people, man. So what was somebody that who is somebody you met or interviewed, and it was just like, oh my, I can't believe I'm talking to her. I can't believe I'm talking to him. Any you got anybody like that?
So, I'm the type of person I don't get starstruck much. It takes a lot for me to get starstruck.
Yeah,
But I will say my time working with Vashawn Mitchell, man, greatness,
yeah,
greatness. And not just that, man, being able to sit around and pick his brain. You know that's how I get starstruck. You know, when
yeah,
I'm able to feed off your experience and be like, hey, I got a question for you.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And then getting that education and knowledge. I think my favorite interview would have to be probably somebody who has now become my friend and my brother, gospel artist named Dr. James Mabel Jr.
Okay,
And if y'all don't know who he is, I promise you will soon.
yeah,
Dr. James Mabel Jr. Man, every time we get together, man, it's almost like me and you, man. We just cut up, dude.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
we we we, we cut up. It is an experience, man. And so I think those are the interviews, and of course, all my interviews are like this style.
Yeah,
Dude, we just have a conversation. Of course, I have my list of questions or whatever,
of course. Yeah,
but man, dude, we just have a conversation. And I may have to skip that next question because
yeah,
something you just said made me want to ask another question.
most
And
definitely.
so, no, when I interview him, every time I interview him, man, it just flows, and man, we have fun. We cut up with each other, man. The same like me and you, man.
Nah, most definitely, man. So nah, definitely. You said James Maple. Is it James Maple Jr.? What you say? Did
James
I say it
Maple
right?
Jr.
Okay,
Yeah,
James. So I'll
yeah.
be looking out for him. I need to go YouTube, see. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. I know he
Yep.
got songs out there, man.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
Bashawn Mitchell, he actually was well, he was working over the ministry team, I believe, when he was at
Yeah, Malzahn. Yep.
Mount Zion, yeah, Mount Zion, man.
Yep.
So that was an amazing experience, man, to be listening to his music and then like, oh man, he's leading our worship, you know.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was an awesome experience as well, man. So just we winding now to the end, man, and I
Of
got one
course.
more question for you, man.
Yes,
But
sir.
before I ask, I allow my guests to ask. You know, I do all the asking. I allow my guests to ask any question that they got for me. Just any, it could be a random question, be about this, anything, man. So I give you the opportunity to ask me one question.
Man, we talk so much, man. I don't know if I
I,
have any questions for you, man.
for real, for real.
Just to be honest with you, man. But I guess I'll ask this. As far as my industry, what makes you want to get in the radio?
What makes me want to get in the radio, man, is it's kind of like what we talked about, one of those branches. Like I want to use my voice. Like I believe that that's something I'm passionate about doing is speaking, and I feel like I've been blessed with the ability to be able to use my voice. And
Yeah.
so those ways like TV. So like I get to do the MTSU games on ESPN 3. I've done radio like in Arizona. So really would like to like sports radio more so, but radio in general, man.
Right.
So really just to use my voice, man. Another opportunity, another branch, another platform to be able to impact people and use my voice to educate, to inform,
Yeah.
and to impact people, man. So that's really how I look at it is another branch, man, to be able
I see
to
what you did
do.
there with the whole impact thing. I
Oh
see
yeah,
what you
I
did there.
got to. Hey, bro, I promise you, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. So We Impact Now wasn't even We Impact Now, bro. It was what it stood for. What's important now, right? And so I drug my feet on making it a LLC, bro. And next thing you know, I've seen that somebody else, somebody real popular in the sports world, had that name, right? And that was it hurt me so bad. My wife was driving. She said, I said, ooh, I was like, right. But I seen it. She said, because somebody sent it to me. It's like, Jeremy, you're doing a great thing with your business. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? Because they knew I was using it. And I seen it. I was so devastated, bro. But God told me this, bro. He said, look, bro. He said, when I tell you to do something, you do it. Because you're not the only person that I can do it through. And so I gave you that name. But if you want to drag your feet, I use it over here. So it was a lesson, but it ended up being a blessing because, as me and my wife, we brainstorm and God blesses with We Impact Now. To me, it hit way harder. And every time I hear people say, yeah, it's all about impact. I'm like, yeah, that's why we Impact Now. It's all about JK. So that impacted, man. So, but yeah, man. So that was my reason, though. So, definitely,
and
man.
we can have a whole nother discussion or a whole nother episode on branding.
Hey,
I got a few stories on that too.
Yeah. Nah, we definitely gonna, we be talking every week. So I'm gonna definitely have to get that combo, man, on that branding, your branding story, man. But it was definitely, like I say, man, a blessing, and a lesson at the same time, man. But man, to end it off, man, I I just want to know, man, what's next for you, bro? Like, obviously I'm not saying you leaving what you're doing, but as you continue to prep, I know you're a forward thinker and you know what I'm saying, you analytical. So you staying steps ahead, man. So like what you see yourself, or what's next for you, man? How just with your career and everything.
So next is of course releasing music. I have some music now. Saints. It is secular music now. It's not gospel music. Just for those people who
Yeah.
a little tight.
Yeah.
It is secular music.
I got
But
you.
but no, just releasing music. Because I find during this journey, that you know, and I don't mean this as a knock against Nashville, but it is kind of a knock. A lot of Nashville's are kind of cliquish. So my dream job is to be a songwriter. I go to so many of these platforms, so many of these songwriters nights, or you know what I'm saying, and be like, hey, I'm a songwriter. Hey, let's collab. Hey.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody would give me that opportunity.
Yeah.
And so eventually, you get that mentality like, bro, I'm just gonna do it myself. Forget it.
Yeah. I hear you.
You don't want to
Yeah.
sing my songs? I'll sing them. Don't worry about
Got
it.
Yeah.
don't worry about them. Yeah.
Nah, that's real. That's real though.
So that's what's next. Releasing music. Got some dope music coming out, man. And always looking to collab. Always looking to build a team. Always looking to network. Absolutely.
Definitely, man. So, man, hey, let me know when you drop music. Definitely would like to listen to it. What I'm saying,
Yes,
share
sir.
it out. To be able to, like I say, listen and share it out as well, man. And so like, how can somebody that say, hey, I want to collab with Quoir Boy, man? How can they follow you? How can they get in touch with you? Where can they find you, bro?
So for the Quoir Boy brand, of course, find me here on Instagram and on Facebook at Quoir Boy, QUOIRBOY. My personal page is QJo Kent, QJOKENT. Then of course my artist page is Black Dog, BLACQDOGG. And man, you hit me up on either one of those. They all sync to the same phone, so I'll get your messages either way. But no, man, just being fearless and reaching out, man, and taking that first step. That's what it is.
Definitely, man. So I let my guests get the last word, man. So whatever is on your heart, bro, whatever you want to say, just to reiterate something you already said, man, to tell people about the show, whatever, or inspire, impact, whatever you want to do, man, just close us out with a message, bro, a word from you, from your heart, bro.
Well, man, of course, man, follow me on 760 a.m. Every weekday starting at 2 p.m. Central, because I know we got, listeners and viewers all over. 2 p.m. Central, on the AM dial if you're in Nashville, on the TuneIn radio app on your phone, or on the website 760thegospel.com. As far as final words, man, hopefully I said, and I say this all the time at the end of my show, hopefully I said something that helps inspire somebody, that helps impact somebody, or helps, encourage somebody to, man, follow their dreams, or at least follow what God has put them on the earth to do.
Powerful, Brian. I'm not gonna talk behind that. Man, I appreciate you coming on the show, Quoir Boy.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. Anytime. Man, ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode, another edition of the Tackle Thursday with JK podcast featuring my boy QJoseph, man, Quoir Boy. Like he said, y'all listen to him. He gonna be on the radio tomorrow, 7:60 a.m. The Gospel, from 2 to 4 p.m. Central. All right, so man, y'all go listen to him tomorrow. Listen to him Monday through Friday, man. Go give him a follow. Continue to wake up, striving to win on purpose. Be intentional about winning. And y'all have a blessed day. Q, have a blessed night. I appreciate you, dog. Thank you so much, dog. For real. God bless you, dog.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. All right, now. Yeah. Yeah. All right, now, bro.